Good evening, everybody, and thank you all for joining us again. I'm your host, Jenny Cousins, and this is Soul Work. We appreciate everybody for joining us in each and every week. And as you know, I do have a guest on tonight, a very exciting guest, I might say. And I've heard ladies' comments about him already, so we can all hang in there. And before I introduce my guest tonight, this is my co-host, Miss Kimberly Buckler. Again, she has brought in her baking for everybody, as she does on a weekly basis. So, and just, we will be taking calls from our viewers after the commercial break. And what's that phone number, Kim?
It is 403-539-6710.
So after our commercial break, then we do take calls from our viewers. And on tonight's show, I have a very special guest who is not from Calgary, and it's very coincidental how I met him, because I was just walking in the door from Hawaii, not even 10 minutes, and my phone was ringing. And I thought, who's calling me? You know, I picked up the phone, and it was Errol's assistant that was calling, Carrie. And I thought, no, I can't go to some meditation class tonight. I just literally walked in the door jet-lagged and everything. So I thought, you know, this sounds interesting. Send me some information. So then when I went on the site, I thought, he's got to come on to the show. So to leave everybody out of suspension now, please welcome my guest, Errol Campbell.
Thank you very much. Pleasure being here. Thank you
Yes.
very much, Jenny. Thank you.
And it's very exciting having you on, and I appreciate you coming on.
The pleasure's mine. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
Right. Errol, I understand you're from Bali, yes?
Well, yes, I live in Bali at the moment. I'm originally from London and currently living in a beautiful island, Paradise. They actually nickname it the Island of the Gods, Bali in Indonesia. It's a superb, amazing place to be living. Very grateful to be living there.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you're up to?
For sure. I've been in the personal development healing arena for over a decade, about 12 years now. And in that time, I've actually had my own healing school. I've practiced, taught a lot of different modalities as well. I've learned over 42 different modalities. And right now I'm teaching my own. After many years and many modalities and many amazing experiences I've had with healing, you know, mainstream healing and, you know, intuitive energy work as well. And what I've done right now is I've combined them both so that there is a structure and it's also intuitive, and it deals with the energetic side of helping people. Right. So that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's really needed now. I mean, to help so many different people, and I just want to share that little story, or have you share that story. Before we came on, we were talking about that lady in church. Can you share with our viewers your little story with that?
For sure. I was invited to lead a sermon in a church here in Calgary, which I was very excited about. And so I had like 20-25 minutes. I probably stretched it to half an hour. And I used that time to guide people into what I call my process that I teach in my source field therapy, a modality that I've created. It's a meditation that really allows you to go into the heart, soul, and into the source of your being, like really right into deep presence. And I guided a whole church full of people through this process. And afterwards, after guiding them, I had a lot of people queuing up to talk to me, and one was this this little lady. She was a mature lady, you know, must have been in her 70s, and she waited so patiently. And she came up to me and she said, "Do you know, I've been coming to church so many years, and I've never had an experience like that." And in that experience, she really, truly connected to a whole different realm. Right. That she hadn't before, in whichever method or whichever way she was using, whether it was prayer, meditation. Right. But she'd been able to experience that absolute connectedness, which she'd obviously been longing, and she was so excited, and she just kept. She was beaming with light, and it was such a beautiful feeling to hear that from her. You know, someone in the evening of her years, finally, accessing that place that she'd been longing for. Yeah. And it's that place is a very, very special place to access. It's where you can change and transform many things about your life.
Yes, absolutely. And it's wonderful even, you know, I bet you just left there feeling like, wow, that's, you know,
absolutely
why I'm
buzzing.
here.
This is why I do what I do, because if I could actually pinpoint it to one particular thing, why I do what I do is that when people have transformations, something happens. It's like they get in touch with their soul. Part of them comes back alive where it was not connected, and a glint appears in their eye. This shining appears in their eye because something has shifted. That's why I do what I do, because that's where it is for me. When someone comes up to me and says they've had a shift, and it's a huge shift, and you can see it shines because their soul. These are the windows, the windows of the soul, and it shines through in that way. So yeah, it's beautiful. I was very grateful for that experience.
Yeah, I like that story. That's why I had to bring it up because it was.
No, thank you.
It's nice to hear because you have that voice, right? Because me, I read like I don't have to see somebody in person. I read the voice as the soul that speaks, right? So your voice, you know, even when we met for coffee, I thought definitely you've got that healingness and the energy,
thank you.
Around you. I could see that and feel it even before I said, hi, I'm Jeni.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have that effect. And I bet you more people in the church could really feel it. But she wanted to come share that with
well, it's a beautiful thing to be able to guide people, you know, and the voice does help. When I'm guiding people, there's this soothing energy, and it just gets them right into the right place for them to surrender and connect to who they truly are versus what they're hanging on to. And this is the sacred space that I create with my work.
Absolutely.
You know?
And I just wanted to show these actually to the viewers. There's a couple of posters here that I wanted to share with them. I'm going to actually put them both up here because they're just extraordinary. I love this Bali one. Like, you know, when I was on the website, I thought, I got to go to that workshop. I mean, it looks phenomenal. You know, I mean, there's always issues people have buried, you know, and some people, they just put their guards up and, you know, they just say, no, I know everything, you don't. And that's craziness, right? So, and I could really feel it. So can you tell us a little bit about these?
For sure. The one you have on the right-hand side, the Source Awakening Seminar, it's a 3-day seminar that I teach people in 3 days. The first day is Intuitive Boot Camp. I teach them how to activate and awaken their intuitive abilities. It's really important because if you're just walking around in life with the basic senses, you're missing out on half, more than half of what's going on. The universe is trying to communicate with you every single day. And by activating your intuitive senses, you can begin receiving that information and allowing that guidance to take you to where you need to go. Now, in those 3 days, the first day being the Intuitive Boot Camp, the second day of that seminar is where I show people how to, there's a process that I've created in my source field therapy that allows you to not only locate where your blocks are, but understand what they are, why they're there, receive the gift from them, and then transform it. And healing isn't about pulling out, burning and cutting and poisoning stuff out. It's about embracing what is going on in the shadow, and owning it, and then transforming it into the gift that it actually is, and then moving forward. And what a strength and power that happens when you move forward. So this is what I teach in my 3-day seminar. Now, in my Bali retreat, it's a 7-day, it's a spiritual journey of a lifetime, for sure.
I'm going to that.
It's unbelievable.
Definitely.
It's unbelievable what I put together. I offer my group soul coaching every single day, which is, it's like another level of what I do. It really allows people to get in touch with their soul. Because you are a soul having a human experience. Right. And you're in an earth suit and you're walking around, but you're actually a soul. And a lot of people are out of touch with that.
Yes. Definitely.
So the journey of a lifetime, the journey of the soul, is my group soul coaching plus the 7 days of visiting the most exquisite and powerful sacred sites in Bali. The shifts I've experienced people have on these different sites are unbelievable, phenomenal. It's like something I've never ever been able to actually put in words. It's something you've got to experience, really.
I can imagine, because Bali's such a sacred place anyways. So
the energy of Bali alone holds you in a completely different light. It really allows you to begin the transformation even more. Now, when you're actually on the retreat, the shifts you're going through, it's just enhanced by the fact that you're in Bali and that you're visiting beautiful sites, sacred sites, and having ceremonies and purifications and a whole series of different, like, you know, amazing shifts.
Exactly. So let's say, for instance, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you to, you know, talk to you or book an appointment with you or take, you know, your seminars or workshops and that, what's the best way for them to do so?
The best way to reach me is on my website, errolcampbell.com, and my email, which is events@errolcampbell.com. And through those two, you can reach me and have access to a whole bunch of healing.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I really appreciate you coming on the show today, Errol.
It's absolutely my pleasure.
You know, it's been wonderful having you on. And, you know, we could talk and talk and talk and talk, of course, right? But, you know, we have to go to commercial break, unfortunately. But for the viewers, now Errol is staying for the full show. So after our commercial break, for those who would like to give us a call, you can feel free to do so, and all three of us can answer any of your questions and concerns. And what's that number again, Kim?
It is 403-539-6710.
And we will be right back after these messages, Calgary, so hang tight. Hello, Calgary, and thanks again for tuning in. For those of you who have just tuned in, I'm your host, Jeni Cousins, and welcome to Soul Work. On tonight's show, we have a very special guest here from London, England, who resides in Bali, of course, doing his spiritual work, which is Errol Campbell. So if anybody has any questions for the three of us, by all means, please give us a call. And what's that number again, Kim?
It is 403-539-6710. Yeah, so you're explaining a bit, you're doing workshops and that. What sort of results are people experiencing from these?
They range from a variety. You know, we have different areas of our life. You know, some people are struggling in their wealth environment. Some people are struggling in relationships or health or many other areas. And it's a variety because my work actually, it takes you to the core of what actually is really going on inside a person. So somebody could come to me and say there's this going on in one particular area of their life, but when we go into it, it actually goes into a much deeper place. Results that people are experiencing, you know, we've had so many, and they're all an absolute blessing. One of my students, she had 20 years of depression, and it got cleared in 48 hours. Wow. She hasn't been depressed for 3 or 4 months now, and there's no medication, nothing at all. It's shifted because we go to the core of it.
Yeah, that's important.
I've sat with some students of mine only for half an hour, and we've cleared 16 years of chronic back pain, which had come about from car injuries, car accidents, and things like that, and suddenly it's gone because it's not actually anything to do with the car injury. It's mental, it's emotional, and it's a consciousness state that someone is holding on to or trapped in. So we access that, and that's where the healing, or that's where the alignment comes in. We've had sciatica cleared in 30 minutes. Eye conditions, floaters in eyes. We've had all sorts of things, and it also goes into relationships, wealth. I was actually speaking to one of my clients today. I mean, she went from a 0 bank balance to, you know, over 100,000 euros, you know, within 10 months.
Oh, that'd be
and
nice.
it had nothing to do with money.
Yes,
it was nothing to do with money.
It's the mind, it's the thoughts.
It's to do with much deeper stuff.
We do have a caller. Our first caller is Tina. Hello, Tina.
Okay. Yes.
Hi, your question for us tonight.
Hi, Tina.
Hi.
Your question. Hello.
Hi there. You have a question?
Yes, I have a question that I haven't been feeling well for almost over a year. So I wonder, is somebody playing the trick with me? If somebody has done the black magic, witchcraft, or anything else? And what is my future holds?
Okay.
I'm going through hell.
Okay, well, what is actually going on for you right now?
Pardon?
What is going on?
Because I've been sick for almost a year and a half.
And how is the sickness playing out? What are the symptoms?
The symptoms, because I had and I had pneumonia for almost a whole year.
Okay.
Yeah,
and I have breathing problems, and if I go out, things go wrong. Nothing is coming to the end. Even the doctors wonder what's going on. And even if I do any other work, not only this illness, things go wrong.
Yeah. Well, Tina, one of the things I can suggest is this, in regards to pneumonia and breathing problems, is to do with the lungs. And usually things to do with the lungs are emotional or thought-based energies that are related to grief, sadness, loss, abandonment. So if in your life, and I know we all do experience this, but we handle things in different ways. Each person will handle something in a very different way. So how you handled or how you received information in regards to losing a loved one or abandonment at a young age or any form of loss where you're experiencing grief or sadness will affect that area. It will affect the area of the lungs. And if it's not resolved, and if those emotions and thoughts are still held on to, dis-ease will come about within the body. And so my advice to you is have a think about, or bring an awareness. Bring an awareness to times in your life where you've had a loss, or someone has left you, or you feel abandoned, and there's sadness and grief and loss that has appeared as a result of that. It will begin accumulating in the lung area, which will then give you results of not being able to breathe, and it's like not being able to breathe the breath of life in.
Yeah.
And that's my recommendation to you, is to bring an awareness to what you perceive that you've, the loss and abandonment that you've gone through, whether it was a relative or however, it could be even in childhood. Sometimes as children we have, parents split up, a whole bunch of things happen. So that's my advice to you. Have a look into that area and begin starting to resolve it, letting those emotions and those thoughts go.
Because you can do daily mantras too. Because even with pneumonia, of course, you get water in the lungs.
Yeah.
And water represents your emotions too.
Yeah.
So it's right. It's holding on to it and not having that trust in life.
Yeah.
With the life force. So even a mantra, to do something with that, because I've had pneumonia before. So anytime I start to feel that, I know exactly what I have to let go. Mm-hmm. So I do like a mantra, certain mantras per day for certain issues, and it does help. Like you'll notice the difference. It's like I trust completely, fully with the life force from the universe. And if you say those mantras every day, you are going to see a switch, and it's not only just going to be with your grieving and pneumonia and health issues. It's going to switch around your life as it is, right? So if you start really doing that, I'm really feeling that within 5 months, things are really going to shift for you. Mm-hmm. And next year can be a really good year for you. 8 months, you could see a really, really big difference. But we have to take control of our lives and really start working on it from within.
Absolutely.
It's so true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In the work that I do, you locate the thought patterns that are going on in your head repetitively, the emotions that are being created as well, and it's the consciousness state that you're actually living in right now. These are all contributing to a dis-ease within the body.
Yes.
So thank you, Tina, for
that. And we appreciate you calling. We've already have another call.
Yeah, but my problem is not that, because the doctors say everything seems okay, and as soon as I come back in the house, things go wrong.
Yeah,
when I go and see my doctor, everything is fine. So is something in my house?
It could be something in your house. There could be two options. What I picked on up right away could be somebody you asked to leave a year or two ago. Or if you're concerned about the house, what I suggest is get a good clearing or smudging done near your house to shift the energy in there.
Yeah.
That when you're holding on to negative energy, you're going to attract that more into your home, right? We can attract dark entities, as they're called, into our home, right?
You can do a good clearing for that.
Yeah, clearing, but you got to start the clearing from within first, really.
It has to happen from within first.
Yeah, within.
Because we even attract houses that match our vibrations. So we may look at the house and think it's the house, but we attracted the house in the first place due to the vibration that you're vibrating in. So it's always going to come back to the one core point within each one of us.
And we appreciate you calling.
Okay, thank you.
We don't mean to cut you off. We just have another caller.
Thanks so much,
on.
Tina. I appreciate your question.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're
Bye.
welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Our next caller is Lisa. Lisa, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
Hi,
And
Lisa.
your question for us tonight, sweetie?
I am of Aboriginal descent,
Right.
and I've grown up with a lot of trauma. And I'm finding that I can't turn anywhere and get help with the severe amount of PTSD that I have. Do you have any suggestions on how I can help myself?
I feel within actually 3 months, things are really going to shift for you. 3 months, I'm hearing, right? And it's almost like you're gonna go down first before you come up in a spiral, right? What would you say, Errol?
Lisa, it's a beautiful. Thank you for sharing this. Anything that's going on within your thought patterns or emotional patterns, they can be accumulated in your own lifetime or inherited. And in this particular case, there's a large amount being inherited. There's a collective consciousness that is being passed down from generation to generation. And right now, you're tapping into that, and you're having experiences of that trauma. Now, as a species, there's over 7 billion of us, and we can all connect in to any level or any type of consciousness of our species. Now, there is trauma. There is trauma in a lot of nationalities, a lot of races. Now, what you're going through right now is in a direct link to your ancestral history, and that energy is coming through right now. So it's, for me, what the advice I'd like to give to you is to really be present with it. Really be present with it, rather than try and block it out. Be present with it. Allow it just to flow through. Because the more we battle with things, the more what we resist persists. And it's really about letting it come through, because there's a bigger learning, there's a bigger gift in it. It might seem at the time very dark and like a black cloud. But if you're present in it and really begin surrendering, just letting go of any thought patterns of holding on, it will pass through. Let it pass through. It's a collective consciousness trauma that you're currently experiencing. It will have a knock-on effect to particular areas of your life right now that you're perhaps struggling with. So by being present with it, allowing it to come through, you'll have shifts in other areas of your life as well.
Yes. And we don't mean to cut you off either, but we do have another caller on hold, and we only have time for one more call, right? It's got to be a quick one, really. But
And Lisa, I would suggest...
Thank you so much. That was very helpful.
Okay, I would
Lisa,
suggest looking into
Thank
some
you.
soul
Thank you so much.
retrieval for yourself, too, to help out.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Lisa.
And our next caller is Farrah.
Hello.
Hi,
Farrah.
how are you tonight?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good,
We're
and your
good, we're good.
question?
My question is, I just got laid off a few weeks ago. And before I got laid off, I felt really horrible and bad. But for some reason, I feel lighter, and I don't feel as anxious as I did before. And I'm just wondering, when is the next opportunity coming my way in terms of work?
I'm feeling a shift. I'm seeing one, right? But I'm not feeling within a week. I'm feeling within a month, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Right? Because, I mean, we can search and search and search and search and search, right? And we can find certain things, you know, and you're going to find that you're going to have different, you know, things to choose from and such like that. But I'm hearing within a month, right? So even like the first week of December, you're going to feel like more of a home where you're going to be, right? And it's going to be, and it's going to be more calming than what you're normally used for. So don't push, you know, the situation right now, because I just feel things are going to really kind of flow for you, and you've been clearing stuff out anyways.
And a smaller company.
Okay.
Yeah, that needs to be cleared, right? So just so just kind of go with the flow, because I mean, if you take a look around this past even year and a half, you've noticed that you've done some clearing.
Yes. And what do you mean by clearing?
Well, clearing is whenever we've clearing out, you know, certain people in our life. Let's say that somebody was like trying to control us or manipulate us or whatever like that. It's like, you know what, I'm not standing up for that anymore. I'm taking a stand.
That's right.
You know, I'm clearing out these people in my life,
clarity.
and I'm getting clarity. I'm moving forward and such. So, you know, there's all kinds of things like that, moving energy around.
Yeah,
is what you've been doing.
For sure. And clarity, Farrah.
Yes.
The universe is going to respond to how you're feeling, and so it's always going to do that. So get into the feeling of what you want to be doing. Don't get too caught up in the names of the work or the job or where it's going to be. That's all mind stuff, and it's like spaghetti. It will tangle you up for a while. Go into the feeling of how you want to feel in your next workplace, whether that's how you are interacting with your team or how you're enjoying what you're doing. Go into the feeling of it, and you'll notice that it will come about much quicker than you think.
Yeah, it's just because you're very intuitive. So really start tuning in, because you've been tuning in more. But start just really kind of tuning in and have some of that alone time, that space. Because I tell everybody, especially when you have scattered thoughts, that's when you need your space and alone time to hear your soul speak, right? So then we're going to start to get more clarity of what to do, what not to do, what to clear out. And then you're going to find that things are even going to flow better for you as long as you listen to it. But don't let those others kind of hang on to your energy field, as I call it. I always say it's like a cactus, and people are hanging on to it. I'm getting the wrap-up sign here pretty quick. So,
wonderful.
Yes, but I want to appreciate you calling in. It's been wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you, Farrah.
And you can you can always book an appointment to see any of us anyways, and we can certainly elaborate and go on more, with it for you. But just, go with the flow and really follow, your gut instinct, hear your soul speak, and spend that alone time. Really do that, even if it's going for a walk, even if it's like anything, even if it's 10 minutes a day, the longer the better if you have it.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank my guest, Errol Campbell, for coming on. I really appreciate you coming on.
A pleasure being here.
Yes.
And it's been an amazing journey here, and I've seen so many transformations since I've been here with teaching, sharing my work. And very, very grateful for that. So thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. And thanks to Kim, my co-host, too. And we will be back next week live at 6:30 p.m. I'm your host, Jeni Cousins. Good night, everybody.
Proceeding was an independently produced community access program. The viewpoints expressed are those of the community access producer and do not reflect those of Shaw Cable Systems. The program is presented in response to CRTC policy guidelines